before the stage, saying a big hello and namaskar. I'll just walk across to you all because it's been years since I've met people from so close. We actually got closer to one another, right? Thanks to Zoom. What do you say, Bimal? Except we just saw only this much of them. The rest, they say, is not worth seeing. We were formally dressed up till here. So, for me, why I'm very excited about life itself is that life happens the way it happens. Including right now, if you can just take a moment and take your eyes off me, and if you look at the people in the console, they're looking really worried because I was not supposed to be here. So life for me is a bit of the improbable that happens as each one of us creates and does something unimaginable amidst whatever that life is happening. Consider for a moment, each one of us here is a chef. And we are cooking up new dishes with nearly the same ingredients that we had. But we got brushed by different cultures. And people asked for different things from us. And since we are very good at what we did, we managed to cook up something new each time. Tell me honestly, how will it be for you if you are that master chef who can manage to surprise herself? How would be your day at work? How would be your journey through life when you know that you're empowered not because you know certain things, but you are able to learn new things? Thankful to my father because he made sure that I remained a Vidyarthi. My father's name was T.K. Govindan, born in Kerala in 1912. And he was to remain T.K. Govindan, but he came down to Varanasi to study Sanskrit at the Kashi Vidyapith. And there he became a Shastri. But a little before that, he was inspired by Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi. He used to read his magazine called Mashal. And he took on the term Vidyarthi as his surname. Gifted that to me too. I proudly wear it. And today this Vidyarthi is here in front of you in conversation about some learnings that each one of us can allow ourselves to be touched by. Sometimes I wonder if I ever get an opportunity, I would love to have this conversation in a room which is filled with learning and development people, but that'll be another evening probably. One sec. Are these people from learning and development? I just cracked a joke on that and they said, what's he talking about? Bimal, they're very serious. They had a deep thought, like, as they say, it's now I can say that. It's a Chinese saying. I loved your joke. So, dear friends, swagat hai aapka. Welcome to a Pathway Conversation. And I've suddenly chosen not to get onto the stage. Because, as an actor, you're continuously, people sometimes try to put you down. You always want to be center stage. Yeah? It's happened to you guys ever? You think you're very important? Come on, honestly, don't you have real friends? Yeah, they would have said that to you. Otherwise, I think only I have good friends. You think you're very important. And all our life, when somebody says you think you're very important, we're saying, it's not like that, Harris. See, we kind of try to diminish ourselves. I discovered a few years back, the kind of person that I am, when somebody says, you think you're very important, I would look around and say, yes, I am. Isn't it true that you are? But for some degree of modalities of humility, we say, no, it's not that I'm important. It's a bit like, I don't know whether it's happened to you, when somebody congratulates you on what you did and you say, it's all about the team. But imagine if they come up to you and say, you got a great team. Hurts. Allow me to give credit. You don't give it directly, please. So this conversation, dear friends, is actually about 3 chances. 3 chances in which we take some credit and allow some credit to go away too. So the first of the chances is each one of us was born by chance. Ouch. You really were born by chance, my friend. And I'm not just talking about those, things now. Even before that, what has happened? By chance. Excuse me, do you know that? Learn it, yeah, seniors? With deep regret, let me inform you at this point. You and I were born by chance, my friend. The second chance that I celebrate each day is the very fact that you and I are still alive. Especially after COVID-19, a lot of good people didn't make it. They didn't overspeed, they didn't drink, they didn't gamble away their life. They were good people and they didn't make it. Yes or yes? Some of us have had personal losses, people close to us. Yes. So second chance is that in spite of all that, you and I are still alive. And the third one for me is that today we have met. Just like each day, something unique happens in each one of our lives. As much as we say that it's what I did, consider it has happened by chance. And you did something in that chance and therefore you are here. Yes or yes? This conversation is about us celebrating those 3 chances. And therefore I am passionate about life. Because not one, I got 3 chances. I'm nearly close to that cat. And therefore I love to reimagine. Anything that is fixed, I find boring. I would love it to be like that child who says, I want this. I want this. You remember that child? The other child, not you, of course. You've grown up now, please. Now you're learned in development. Yeah? Horrible. Seriously. In fact, some of us are so big that we look at some of those happy people who come to work and we say, look, once they get successful, they will realize what we are going through. Yeah. So excited about that. Calm down and lose that. Come on, get serious. We would love it if they just lose a smile like us. Many years back, I discovered, my friend, that if I want to really reimagine my life, I would love to have the money that I have and yet to keep that smile which I lost a few years back. Anybody here with me on this? If yes, just say, I. Yep. This conversation is about each one of us actually reimagining how we want our life to be. Because it's about me. Please get it. About who? Thank you. Most of you say, it's about you. No, it's about me. That's again one of those trick questions we get. If you have good friends, they've said, so it's all about you, huh? And then we say, no, it's not about me. Admit it, it is about me. It is about the amazing me. And I have you as part of me. But it is about me. So this conversation is about you and me reimagining how we would really wish to be. Because that is what learning is all about. It's about what's possible. Or should I say, what else is possible? Would that interest you if you actually get into a world of exploring for yourself at whichever age that you are, is that what is possible? Would that interest you? Well, then this one would, because this is all about a story. It's a story that Rajkamal and I are going to engage in, but still is going to be a story. But possibly a story that includes each one of us is this next one. I know the story that you're interested in. Do you know that? I know it. So here goes. This is a story which I have a feeling you are interested in, which is, yeah, I know that. Gautam, thank you for telling me that the story that they love. Appreciate it. So this conversation is about my story. The person who's sitting in your chair, and actually asking myself, how hungry am I to remold my story? Many a times it doesn't make sense after a hefty, heavy breakfast at a good setup like this to ask about hunger. But I am very clear it's all because of hunger. Many a times when people ask me that, who do you think doesn't need motivation? When they pay me enough, I tell them, the hungry don't need motivation. Would you agree on that? This conversation is about each one of us connecting with our hunger, even amidst abundance. Because at the age of 57, as I moved from one city to the other, acting, giving talks, vlogging, really meeting people, trying some adventurous food, filming myself, filming others, doing an interview while traveling in a car with a banker. It's all about my hunger to remold myself, to create that which even I didn't expect. And therefore, it is about a life which is, can we read this together? By whose passion? That's right. It's not inked by passion. It's inked by my passion. My passion, my friend. It's not that something that the HR wanted you to do. If somebody said is a great idea for your career, it's inked by my passion. And how about this next one, which is my dreams. My dreams, my friend. Don't tell me it's about you. It's about me. And it's the vision that I have for my dream. And do you know something about this? This is not anything new. Because as I talk about you having a vision towards your dreams, this is a bit like, because that's how it all started, didn't it? We used to dream then and even talk about it till somebody said, get real. They said, forget about dreams. What's the score this quarter? The God is real. I discovered some years back, it is their imagination of what is real. For me, each day is driven by my passion, visioned by my dream, in which I will be amazing in what I do at this moment. Tell me honestly, isn't that our commitment in any case? Being amazing. Being amazing. Amazing me. Amazing. And when I'm shooting, when they say, okay, what okay? We're like, duck. Isn't it true that you feel it amazing when you meet somebody who's given extraordinary service and you say, oh, wow. You want to go back to that person again? I'd love to come back to me. I don't know about you. I traveled with me. My Samsonite and me. It's that amazingness I'm connecting us to. And let's not shortchange ourselves, my friend. It's our life. And therefore, just like yesterday, anyone from Delhi here? Okay. 18 of you, don't talk to me. The rest I'm talking to. No, please don't mind it. I'm a Delhiite, but I don't like Delhiites. And I'll tell you why. Please, I got my reasons. So when I meet the rest of the world and I say I'm from Delhi, you're from Visakhapatnam or Kanpur or Kolkata, you're impressed. Wow, he's from Delhi, capital of India. Except when you meet a Delhiite. You can't get away. The moment you say, I'm from Delhi, what will the Delhiite ask? Kahan se? Where from? In English, it's where from. Essentially, if they want to say kahan se, translated into English, where from? Delhiite cannot stand that somebody else is saying I'm from Delhi. Where from? They want to just completely reduce you. So let me admit, I am from a place called Lakshmi Nagar. Thank you. Yeah. अब निकली बात, अरे जमुना पार बोलना यार, इंग्लिश में बात कर रहा है तू काला सूट पहन के, जमुना पार. So those of you who are not from Delhi, let me educate you. Delhi has a river, a dry river, but a river. Yeah, we got some certain committees working on it, but it's a dry river. But it's a river, and the river is called Yamuna. What's it called? But when you want to be derogatory about somebody, you don't call it Yamuna, you call it Jamna. And then you say Jamna Par in Hindi. So I was living in Lakshmi Nagar, which was Trans Yamuna. Again, Trans Yamuna. Jamna Par. In fact, growing up in the 70s, Delhi had a, it was very different from now. Right now, people right from Jaipur to Agra, they are part of Delhi NCR. Yeah? Everybody's part of the NCR. Magar, nahi bhai, tu Agra mein, it's NCR. But at that point, it was very clear. There was Delhi and then there was people like us from Jamna Par. I had a friend of mine, there was Kamal Jain. I was in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. He would say, where are you from? Say, ma'am, I'm from Krishna Nagar, but most of the time I spend with my auntie in New Friends Colony. Please, I spend most of the time there. I'm not from Jamna Par. I mean, that was the condition of Jamna Par. And staying in that Jamna Par, I wanted to be an actor. Now, apart from other things, Delhi is completely politically incorrect. So even though I'm parents, very loving parents, I had a loving mother. By the way, today is Ma's birthday, 2nd of February. Rebadi, Mwah, love you. So Ma and Baba lovingly called me and named me Ashish. But just to let you know, entire Delhi knew me with the color of my skin. That's how they called me. So I would step out of home and anybody, a friend or anybody, would say, the color of my skin. Now, some of you who are not from Delhi will say, well, what is he talking about? In Delhi, we do this. We call people by the color of their skin, their height, their weight, the way they walk. Completely. We are completely okay with it. Completely okay. Some of my friends still call me that. Others feel that. I say completely okay. Bhai, kya ho gaya? Tu normal hai mere se. Wahi bula. But growing up, it hurt me. And I could do nothing much about it. In fact, I went down to a friend's mother. And my friend used to regularly call me that. My auntie was, feeding me something. I got this night moment. I told her, auntie, wo mujhe na ye bolta hai. It was a moment of anguish, pain. Auntie did something very touching. She tousled my hair and she said, Beta, wo to tu hai. Which in English means, Beta, that is what you are. So I was like, what's your problem? So very early on, I discovered what you guys now tell your folk. That it basically doesn't matter to people here. Except if you ask them not to talk about it, they will not talk about it. But they will still think. So being in Lakshmi Nagar, as I realized people refer to me in a particular way, I still had the dream to be an actor. Quite unthinkable. But I realized at that point that I cannot wait for the world to come around to start believing in my dream. I realized at that point, it actually doesn't matter where I can come from. I realized at that point, can we just read this together? Nothing's changed, my friend. I was probably 10 then when I got that first feeling. Today I'm 57. I'm very clear. Doesn't matter where I came from. What matters is, any different for you? Because I know for a fact that you have a Jamna Par in your life. Something that you're ashamed of. Something which could have been better. a school, college, maybe a parent, maybe something somebody could have done. It doesn't matter. Let the sound continue. That's part of my design. I made sure that they create this sound just for us to remember that we can go on in spite of all the sound. But when I got that what matters is where I'm headed, gosh, that's what happened. So here I graduated from National School of Drama and I wanted to go out to do my first film. And I got my first film and this is what it was called. Thank you so much for your encouraging, slightly sarcastic laughter. Appreciate it. Thank you. Learning and development. My future clients, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yes, Kutte Ki Maut. That was the name of my first film that I got, for which I came to Bombay. And how many of you have seen it? Well, for once, Bimal, none of them are liars. They're not liars. That film never got made. Thank you. My first film never got made. I went to Bombay to make a film, that film never got made. Imagine how I would have left Delhi. I got a film called Kutte Ki Maut. I'm telling my friends, I got Kutte Ki Maut. And they're saying, oh, kaun sa role kar raha tu? And they are, completely there. Kaun sa role kar raha hai tu? Kutte Ki Maut. Huh? So I went to do Kutte Ki Maut. Kutte Ki Maut didn't happen. Can you imagine the dream that I have? Kutte Ki Maut, I'll be there. And the film didn't happen. And one thing which I realized is this. You had some few shattered dreams? Hello? You know what? Just want to let you know. Just want you to connect to the truth about you. You're one of these people. You've had enough shattered dreams and you've lived enough to realize that the future is beyond shattered dreams. But each one of us has the passion to dream. Yes or yes? Dear friends, this conversation is about each one of us daring to dream. Because only when you dare to dream something beyond what you are, that's when you're willing to learn. Because life, I've discovered, is not what is expected. Same for you? Consider for a moment whatever that you have achieved, which you have achieved a lot. That's why you got invited today. Because all that was created. And imagine the teams that you're interacting with. Imagine if they really get life is not an auto mode. Each one of those people that we interact with, imagine if they get that we are at the source of what can be created in that future. And therefore, I talk about David. Amazing statue. Have you ever seen a photograph of that, or any one of you who's personally seen it in Florence? Do you know who sculpted it? Yeah, Michelangelo. It's an amazing piece of thing. And when he was asked, how did you do it? It is rumored that he replied saying that I took a block of marble and removed what wasn't David. I don't know whether he said it, but it makes a lot of sense to me. Because for me, I take things even though they may not be real. For me, it gave me the opportunity to look at myself is that I have something amazing within me, which at times doesn't show up. But all that I need to do is to shed whatever is not that amazing. How will it be for each one of us here in this room if we can actually take on scraping away, if we can be chiseled by life and the experiences so that extraordinariness that is part of us can sparkle? What would be the experience when you get that you are not to make yourself extraordinary, you are. But all the other things, that the fears that we have, the anxieties that we have, the ego, the problem of how can I say I do not know? Imagine if you can be free of that. The David is just waiting to be revealed. And to discover that I'm porous too. I'm not solid. I'm not solid, I'm porous. Osmosis is continuously happening. I'm willing to learn, and like how? I am mutating right now. I am the chameleon. I will take on the colors that are needed. Because I am not in too much of a hurry to become a fossil. Anyone here ready to be? Hello? Thank you. Because fossils belong in the museum. And you and I are traveling through life. Yes or yes? So as I am porous, I also get that I am imbibing the changing times. Do you know, just checking one thing, any one of you giddy right now? Anyone? Giddy. Heady, yes, because you're successful, but giddy? No. Well, it's odd that you aren't giddy because you're traveling at such speed. Each one of us is on earth traveling at, but we aren't giddy because we are traveling on the same speed. It's a bit like, when you say that things are changing so fast, it's because somebody is not changing. Somebody is not on that vehicle as vehicles zoom past. I discovered many years back, I don't want to end up saying, oh, that's not for me, that's for the next generation. It's for me because science has made it so available to somebody like me. I discovered that imbibing the changing times is actually allowing myself the opportunity to be touched by how they're making things simple. To give you an example, over the years as I became an actor and as I traveled, I promise you it's really heady when somebody recognizes you. From you being unknown to somebody who's known, it's a great feeling. No jokes, when somebody unknown smiles at you, it makes your day. But after a period of time, you're an actor. And then you see the next generation doing it, and just look at this next generation, how they work. And I discovered I didn't want to talk about the next generation because I'm part of that generation, because I'm alive in the same year that they are. Who says that, remember the past? Gone. I don't care if you're a millennial or not, because I'm alive in the same year that you are in. What's stopping me from learning? What's stopping me from ability to use the resources that you have? Just because you're a millennial, you will use it and I won't? Oh no. That's why just a few years back I discovered I just didn't want to, go onto social media and talk about films. Talk about the other actors that I work with and get people to know. No, that didn't interest me. And that's when I started my talks with organizations. I said that there is more to me. I can add more value. And over the years, I also discovered that I love to communicate with people, which I could now digitally. So over the last few years, I started communicating digitally across not just Twitter, across Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Got myself a channel which is called Ashish Vidyarthi Active Vlogs, which I tell stories of people that I travel with. On Instagram, I talk about food and I talk about motivation. I discovered that I could have 1 million subscribers everywhere each. Now we've got some 5.8 million subscribers, and I'm not a hero. I'm not a television actor. I'm a 57-year-old, excited human being. Consider for a moment, it's my ability to imbibe the changing times which has allowed me to get that I will rise in spite, not because. I'm not going to... Anyone of you remember that amazing Reagan line in one of the earlier debates when he said that I'm not going to use the age and inexperience of someone else against them. I discovered that I'm not just old, I'm wiser. And I also have the ability to use the new resources which are available. So therefore, imagine if each one of us gets, not just as responsible people in the learning and development space, but also as individuals, that each one of us can actually be getting inspired by creativity. Because life itself is creative, my friend. Life is not static. We of course try to bore ourselves down. When somebody says, how's your day? We say, routine. And then you ask back, how was your day? Routine. Routine. And then we both have coffee and we leave. Imagine if you ask someone, how was your day? And that person says, amazing. Most probably you'll ask, lost your job? You can't have an amazing day if you don't have a job, right? Because the more successful you get, the lesser you smile. So when someone asks you, how are you doing? You're saying, going on. And then you also get even more serious and you say, yeah, we both are so successful, it's just about going on. We are just about going on. My friend, I discovered that I want to actually let people know I'm having an amazing time. Because as I travel, people taunt me and they say, Ashish, bahut maze kar raha hai. You know what I tell them? Huh? Haan be. Hello? But how many of us manage to do that? If someone says, you have a great time in Goa. What great time? I was at a conference. Was Goa good? Yeah, it's good, but why? Lest if someone finds out you had a good time here. You know? You got to give a good image to home, no? What do you mean? We're working, man. One morning we had breakfast. Could have been better, but let's face it, dear friends. Life is about inspired creativity, which also means inspiring others with your ability to rejoice at what you have. It's about expanding my impact, because that's what my today is about. Yes or yes? Because if you do not want to grow, you aren't going to be here, my friend. So you and I are at the source of our growth. We want to expand our impact. Yes or yes? Guess what? That person you're speaking to is wanting to expand too. Let them know the connect between learning and expanding their impact. Sometimes HR and learning and development becomes the corporate mother who wants to feed the child something and the child says, You see, this is very nice for you. I'm telling you, I'm getting the CHRO of Axis also speak. Are that villain is also coming. Are they are both going to not sit on the stage and talk. Okay, I'll take a spoon. You know, somehow, it is about forcing and coercing somebody and giving such a nice package. For me, I am the hunting learner, my friend. I love the Eklavya story. You know for what? He learned in spite, not because. He didn't have a good teacher who fed him and did him. He was at a distance, but he was learning. Do you connect with that passion to learn? Is my question. Because that's what I share with my people. Don't force people to learn. Get them connected to the power which is available to the human being when they're ready to learn. Because beliefs have to be shifted, my friend. For too long, they've called me of an earlier generation. Haven't they told you that? Yes or yes? Okay, my mistake. Haven't you said to others that you are of a different generation? Just because you wanted to hit them. Well, in our generation, we used to work hard. Basically, you want to say that you're not happy with how they're doing. And say that, yeah. Why are you saying you're belonging to the other generation, yeah? None of us come with that stamp which that car comes. Which year was it made? Doesn't matter. If you are still valid at this point, you are of this generation, my friend. This guy standing in front of you is 2023 vintage. What vintage are you, sir? Hello? Seriously, Karen, my friend, seriously. I want to alter that conversation. Oh, yeah, we are the old school. What old school, my friend? If you're old school, you're not needed. Get into a museum. That I won't. No. I have a lot to give, no, to take. Because we aren't ready to retire. Are you? Because I'm not. My question is, my vintage is today's vintage. I am learning because I want to shift the beliefs that I have for myself, not about others. And so therefore, some years back, after I became well known in Hindi, I started working down south. So I'd become Ashish G by the time, and I started working down south. I go to Madras airport, that time Madras, not Chennai. And as we come out of the airport, I see the driver carrying a placard which says, yeah, didn't feel very good. I was well known by that time, Ashish Ji in North India. Somebody's rubbing it in. So Aziz Vidyarthi, I go to him and I say, excuse me, Ashish Vidyarthi. He looks at me equally disinterested. Bombay film actor? I say, sit in car. So I sit in car, my makeup man and my assistant there with me. All three of us are feeling very insulted. Okay, so Jayaprakash tells me, sir, ye log Hindi film nahi dekhte, ye log. These South Indians. Ye log Hindi film nahi dekhte. I'm trying to act with largesse. I said, Jayaprakash, hota hai. It happens. But I didn't like it. I promise you. As my first of my films started releasing in Tamil, I suddenly became known there, and Aziz Vidyanidhi had become Ashish Sir by then. But one thing I didn't ever forget, what I got at that moment was that Ashish, you're not known just because your name, you're only known because of your work. That thing, which is at the beginning of my career, which I got, it kind of cemented me forever with my passion for work, and therefore I don't take it for granted. And that's the reason why I'm not old school. Because I can't afford to. The question I want to ask you is, can you afford to be old school and be forgotten? Thank you so much. And therefore, I call it the privilege of breaking from the past. Therefore, I do not talk about, I used to do it this way. I talk about, I now do it this way. I have the ability to rethink. I can do things differently because I'm still alive. Zinda hu main. People here are too, right? How many of you crossed the street the same way as you crossed it yesterday? Aren't you still looking right, left, again and again? Even though you've been crossing that street again and again? Yes or yes? That's what you're doing, my friend. That's your privilege of breaking from the past. No, I cross it every day like this. Tadam! That's not going to happen, right? You're smart enough to do that. Imagine you're smart enough to do that while crossing the street, but expecting the life to be the same way in real life. And then complaining about it. My friends, learning is present continuous. And that's why I value organizations and institutions which are ongoingly training. They're not trained. It's not learner. It is learning and development. So for me, that is the art of staying relevant. That is why I am reconstituting myself every day. Every day. Because I do not want to be passé. And I want you to really see that how will it be that each one who interacts with us really gets that we are in the present and we want to step into the future. Yes or yes? That's the game. Because people do not care. You do not care what I have done, my friend. You are here if I deliver today. Yes or yes? Tell me honestly, how many of you like to be judged? Thank you. None, right? But you are judging me right now. Yeah. Do you think I know it? Yeah, of course I know it. But why do you think I can still go on? Okay, can I tell you the actual thing? I don't care. I don't care. Because my job has nothing to do with you judging me. My job is to get my job done. Yes or yes? I'll do that. Tell me honestly, isn't that your job? Each one of us does that amazing that we wish to do, rather than saying, oh, if it's okay with you, then I will succeed. So if you give me permission, I want to win. Anyone courteous here? Wants to seek permission from life? May I? May I be happy? My friend, can we read this together? 1, 2, 3. Can we read this again once again? My sparkle matters. Zinda ho na dost? My sparkle matters. बहुत है हम में. I have a lot in me. You may say I'm this age. By the way, I very proudly state I'm 57. I just add, I'm 57 and I'm hungry. And then I also add, I'm 57, I'm hungry and I'm on fire. Kuch karna hai, boss? How many of you like to discuss weather? Do you know another very interesting thing? Just want to share this with you. I don't have time to discuss myself. I don't have time to discuss my tiredness or I love to discuss what next. Because that is what gives me an opening to action. What is learning about? Is learning about finally understanding that what I learned is not enough? And then saying, those are the mistakes I did. Who cares what mistakes you did, my friend? You got here. Congratulations. How about looking life at what next? Because that's what learning and development is about. It's not about discussing and sitting and having a symposia and the mistakes that we have made so we learn from it. Ha! You really think that we learn from our mistakes, huh? Imagine how many things you'll have to remember. I should not do this. I should not do this. I should not do this. Abbe, dekhna, what will I do? Who will tell me? Who's going to put you up? Who's going to... Anyone of you fallen here? Fallen? Yeah? How many of you have ever tripped in the airport? Oh, none of you. Oh, great. I have. And I've seen quite a few. None of you are there, of course. All of you not fallen. But most of the time I've seen people falling. You know what is the first thing that they do? Thank you. And this gentleman has not fallen in an airport. And someone comes up and says, hurt? No, it's fine. It's fine. I won't rub it. What if someone knows that I've fallen? I used to do something earlier, very interesting. I used to love wearing that kurta. I had those phases. I would love wear kurtas just a few years back. And the problem with this cotton Fab India kurtas are they get comfortable as you wash them again and again and again. They become very thin. Then they tear. And especially my dining table, it's got a hand here. So invariably the pocket would tear. And it would tear and I would still wear it. But imagine you are walking at the airport and somebody sees a torn kurta and they say, so the kurta is torn, and you just look and say, as if it's just got torn. You keep moving. Because what chances are that you're going to meet that guy again? But imagine the embarrassment that we want to avoid for ourselves. Can we be, my friend, is my question. Can you live for yourself? Because your sparkle matters. And these are the two things that I love to chat about. These two things are humility and audacity. Obviously, they go well together, right? And I'll tell you how. Humility is my ability to learn from anyone at any time. To take correction from anyone. From my son or from my neighbor's friend or from anyone. I got it. In fact, when people make fun of me, I tell them, hey, listen, you can't insult the insulted. Sikhana mujhe kaise sikha raha hai? Don't tell you don't know that. No, I don't know that. Aage bol, please. I don't know are the most three freeing words for me. Haven't you felt that you don't know many things? Yes or yes? And isn't it very uncomfortable to let people know that you don't know? Haven't you met people who don't know but still try to feign that they know? Yeah, all the time, yeah. So guess what? Others are smart too. But the freedom to ask and say that, hey, listen, I don't know, I want to learn. That's the privilege your organization has. That's the privilege you have of reaching out and seeing the freedom and bravery in learning. So the first part being humility, now comes the second one. When each one of us has the freedom to learn, to fall in front of others and get up again, that's when you can have the audacity to play big games, because that's my game. My humility is not for how are you, sir? I was family, I was everybody, I was uncle, auntie, even though I don't know whether uncle, auntie are still around. So people are just humble for no reason. How are you? How are you, ma'am? How are you? Oh, what kidhar hai? Unnecessary humble. That's naklipan. Humility is your ability to work at yourself, give a smile, and even let people know that you're tired. Because you know that you have spent your day working audaciously, and that's what I'm inviting this set of people. Because the future belongs to people who are going to rethink, reimagine what the future is going to be. Yes or yes? This is a world which belongs to the pioneer, my friend. Because that's who I consider I am. I want you to really connect with yourself as a pioneer. Enough of times of accolading others. Wow, sir, you are great. This is a time of saying that I am great. It is an audacious game, yes or yes? Scary, yes or yes? Get humility in and you'll manage. When people say you're talking big, what can you tell them? Yes. Kai ko ghabra rahe bhai? Right now also, we may have a lunch break right after this where somebody will say, why are you doing this? I don't care. Because I am talking this. Because that's my game in life, my friend. I have the ability to play a bigger game than yesterday. That's my day. Therefore, I'm not bored. Therefore, I have no problem to take those early morning flights and going and doing to different cities. 3 days back, I was in Singapore, in Sri Lanka. 8 amazing days. Meeting an amazing set of resilient people, dealing with the stuff that they're dealing with in life. I'm not joking, my friends. All the things that you've heard about Sri Lanka, just go there. It's extraordinary. I spent 8 days telling stories about those amazing people, loving, caring people who are in, very challenging times. I didn't see them complaining. I saw them going ahead with power and dignity. My question to you is, as you and I play a bigger game than yesterday, the game that I want you to get connected with is that the present is my ally. I hate to say that, but lives are this. Most of us criticize our day, yes or yes? You just criticized your own day, my friend. You just insulted yourself. You're saying bad things about yourself, your job, your life. For me, present is my ally because the present is all that I have. I will construct all the futures that I wish to, and that's how I'm here, my friend. I'm in construct. This is not a master who's here. This is a person who's walking along with you. Passionate about a future because I'm very clear. India has an extraordinary future, and you are part of that. You are the people who are going to be architects that youngsters and seniors across organizations create phenomenal value for themselves in service of, can we read this together? Limitless me. I want to ask you a quick question. When you read this, can we read this again once? Doesn't it take audacity? But that's not my role. What role am I talking about? Hello? Any. That is who I want the world to be, really ready for anything, because I have realized this role cannot be as long as my life. Would you agree on that, sir? Our life is much longer than this role, and therefore, if I have to look at my limitlessness, that's when I have to really get that the world is my playground. I'm not going to be tussling with this in my department and trying to have some victories here. Boring. Imagine if we are engaging in people who see the world as their playground and they get that I am the delivery guy. By the way, I am the delivery guy. And my game is very simple. You know what my game is? I'm the delivery guy and my game is, can we read this together? Every day. That's my game. It's not okay. Okay, no? Okay. Okay. Look what happens to your voice. What happens to the thing? It's okay. Arey, chauda hokar. I'm delivering extraordinariness each day. Because my game is of touching lives. I'm clear. I'm going to be touching lives. I am going to making a difference. As an actor, I'll make a difference. As a speaker, I'll make a difference. As a vlogger, I'll make a difference. As a traveler, as a friend, as a family person, I am making a difference, my friend. And who's saying that? Exactly, I am saying that. Not somebody else saying, sir, you're making a difference. No, I am saying I'm making a difference. So that's the game that I'm playing. Do you think I'll succeed each day in that? And no, I won't. But I'll be playing that game. That's the nature of learning, my friend. Learning is not about knowing the answers and getting it right. Learning is the ability to hone your talent. And guess what? One day I'll be famous. Each one of us wants that, yes or yes? Hello? Hello, excuse me, humble people? Do you want recognition or not? तो जोर से बोलो. अरे मन से बोलो. अरे दिल से बोलो. Exactly. The game is that, isn't it? Remember we started with, it's not about me. Hello. It is about me. It is about me getting recognition, yes or yes? Get it? Now, I want to let you know something. Do you know this guy who acts in films who looks a lot like me, who plays villain roles? This next slide has been prepared by him. So getting recognition is our game, and is the game of people who interact with you. I'm now saying keep it light. Oye, light rakha. You know why? How many of you are very particular about how your name is spelled? Anyone here? Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, you're very particular how it's spelled, how it's pronounced, very particular. But you know, okay, I won't do it on you, I'll do it on myself. One day, I'm very particular. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi, not Vidyarthi. Not Vidyarthi, it's Vidyarthi. Yeah. Don't put the H, it is V-I-D-Y, very particular. But one day, I'm going to pop. I'm dying this way because if I lie down, then you can't see me dead. I've died enough time in films. I'm a true born again. 250 films, all of them villain, died many times. So I know a thing about death, and I know a thing about being born again. So I want to let you know, I who's very particular about how my name is spelled, the day I pop, and a few of people who know me very well, they will come down to the mortuary. You know what they will say? Where's the body? They will not say, where is Ashish Vidyarthi? Vidyarthi, where's the body? I didn't use it on you guys because I don't know what are your terms in your organizations about death, whether you're going to die or not, what they have promised, I don't know. No, seriously, I don't know. Especially you're dealing with NIIT, I don't know what they have promised you. You take us on and we promise you, nobody's going to say that, I don't know what it is. So I won't go there. But I will die. And after everything that I've done, they're going to say, where's the body? I know that. Do you know that too? Yeah. Now comes the interesting part. But till then, till the day they call me, where's the body? Life is an opportunity for me. Every day is an opportunity for me to add my unique to this world. ये जिद है बॉस मेरी. एक दिन तो जाऊंगा लेकिन अभी पिक्चर बाकी है. Until then, I will keep adding who's unique? Anybody else is unique or my unique? So that is what is available to each one of us, my friend. To add my amazing sparkle, but first to recognize my sparkle. To get my life is not going to be like anyone else's, and it need not be. It is an opportunity each day for me to add my unique, and therefore, as I complete, I just want you to be left with one thought. At the end of the day, at the end of a week, month, year, how will it be for you if you can look back and say this to yourself? How will it be? Because we say a lot about surprising others. I love to surprise myself. Never thought I could is something which I want to leave you with, because that is what education does, learning does. Allows people to do things that they never thought they could. At this point, I would love to invite Raj, please. Rajkamal, please.
The journey of last 50-55 minutes was right from Jamna Par to Kutte Ki Maut, and I was actually wondering कि मैंने क्यों नहीं देखी movie. मैं तो सारी आशीष की movies देखी हैं. But yeah, you're a master craftsman, and I think you said that in the last 3 years we've never interacted with each other, but I think the conversation here has been so beautiful, so human, and I think we've craved that despite our Zoom calls or Teams calls. And thank you for being here. Thank you, NIIT, for getting in here. And I think I always love the fact that we can talk about our identities so freely. You know, one of the things that we discovered about ourselves is we have shared identities.
Yeah.
Not Jamna Par.
I'm
from Delhi.
But where are you from? It's like
where
that.
are you from? And when you ask where are you from, you know, and I actually pause. Where are you from? Oh, well, it's a long story.
Yeah. Time hai kya?
Time. And when you say like long story, you know, what's the first thought that comes to the other people? Acha, sometimes if they're really curious, acha, I have time to listen to you. Otherwise, theek hai. Let it be. Yeah, Delhi is enough. So let's just carry on to the stage to listen more about the Jamna Par stories.
Yes, please.
So as we settle in, Ashish, I'll just give you time. But you know, one of the things I took away from the conversation, you know, and you're a master craftsman with lots of vignettes over 57 years of your life, 35 years of working. And all of us actually related to some of the stuff that you talked about, which is we have Jamna Par in our lives, we have lots of Kutte Ki Mauts in our lives, where we were all set to do something and
didn't happen. But I think the big takeaway for me for the entire conversation has been, you know, in most of the conferences we come in and we say, okay, here we are. How can you impact others? How can you impact your workplace? How can you impact your bosses, peers, subordinates, etc., etc.? But this was the first conversation where I think I just stepped back and I thought you were saying, wait a minute, the workplace, the environment, the universe is also conspiring to help you. How is it impacting you? Are you really there? So if you can just talk about relating to, let's make it human with an example. Let's say when Kutte Ki Maut happened, at that time you're not thinking, oh, the universe is conspiring to help me. And it happens to all of us, right? And you said that you are the biggest resource that you have for yourself. And it is in the context of, you know, we talking about broken environment. Your entire subtext was the environment is not broken, figure out solution yourself, right? So just take me to the stage, say when maybe related with an example of your failure. How do you get that energy to say, I'm the resource, I can look at it, you know, I can figure out solutions? Yeah. So very clearly, may I call you Raj?
Yes.
So Raj, one of the things very clearly is that when you're punched in the face, intellect doesn't come in pace. It's a visceral reaction. So failure is very painful. And I think it's more painful for us because the environment reminds us that we are failing. So over a period of time, what you've heard is something which I've worked with myself on, especially as an actor. And, when your life is an open book, it's not just you're failing and your family knows it, it's the world knows it. And I promise you, it's very uncomfortable. I have instances when I've been traveling in a lift and I was not working in very many Hindi films. So in fact, I wasn't working in any. Most of my films were in South. And I'm in the lift and somebody sees me and they don't know anything else to say and they say, "Kya baat hai? Shooting nahi hai kya?" Now I'm in the lift. Now that person is right. I do not have a shooting. But you or anyone else who world doesn't know, they are not going to say those things to us. So one thing which I realized is that we need to take care of ourselves. I mean, one of the reasons that we find a lot of high-profile people damaging themselves is that the world isn't very kind to us, all right? And they need not. It's not their responsibility. In fact, they don't even want to be unkind. They're just saying, "Dikhte nahi aajkal yaar? Kidhar hai aajkal? Chhod diya sab?" No, he's genuinely asking, but boss, humko pucho kya ho raha hai? Apan to lage pade hain na kaam dhoondne. So here, as a professional, I've had to tweak myself and to get that there's something amazing happening. It's a belief. It's a belief. You have to train your mind to see that I do not want to live feeling sorry for myself. And that's something which I share with people at large. Because most of us, when we are talking of economy and everything, we are not talking of economy. We are just feeling sorry for ourselves and scared. I am very clear that we will deal with it either which way. But let's not feel shy about hiding from the world what we are going through.
So when you have that kind of self-confidence, it's very rare. It's very rare. We have our own, we are messes of our own insecurities. And you said it, we are playing out a theater of our life, working out our inner story.
Yes.
Right? So amongst the other belief I thought was fascinating, which is applicable to all of us, is in a sense, resources are there. Hai, kuch na kuch ho jayega, and I call it the abundance mindset, which is resources are infinite. And for you to say, and you also used a word that I can add to the resources.
Yes.
I can add to others.
Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit more about that.
So it's a world of I'm wanting from you as opposed to I'm contributing. So, I mean, just imagine in an organization, typically we look at people, resources that they want more. It's a slight tweak in that they actually get that each day is a day of contribution. Now, we don't use these words on a daily basis. We are more okay with dealing with, bahut stress chal raha hai yaar. Even those words are not the words that kids speak, but it has now become part of our parlance. So I have altered even the words that I use for myself and others. As I said that I do not discuss others. I do not discuss anything which I do not have a say on. For example, if somebody wants to discuss GST with me, I just check with them. Are you going to pay next 15? They say yes. I say then don't discuss it with me because I don't understand it. I have been told it's 15% or whatever it is, which I'll pay. My CA will pay. So I do not engage in discussing life. I engage in what next, in finding out what next can I do. So it's a mindset shift in which, okay, here's a very interesting thing. So in a world which has got a lot of anger, a lot of upset, all that I do is I am observing that people have stopped having hope in themselves. All right? So I share with people that, look, I have hope in myself. The more hope that we have in ourselves, the less time we will have to discuss others. So the conversations that I engage in is letting people know. It could be education, it could be growth, it could be travel, it could be investment. It is only when you're interested and you have hope for yourself, you will engage in beautiful conversations. Otherwise, we'll end up chatting about others. And so for me, life is an opportunity. Because at one day it will not be, and I'll be gone. it's that Woody Allen line, and I love it, and I was sharing with her. The Woody Allen line is, I'm not afraid of death. It's just that I don't want to be there when it happens. So till then, I'm going to celebrate life. I'm not going to be talking of the day I die here. So life is upbeat. So over the last 6 months, I've traveled to Democratic People's Republic of what's this place? Congo, DRC Congo, and the life that I saw there, or the life that I've seen in Sri Lanka, they're so different. Yet they are dealing with so many things. And you look at the life that we are dealing in India, and in Bharat. Because I travel to the smallest of places. So I say that people are dealing with a lot more than we imagine. And people are finding ways to be imaginatively dealing with things. So imagination, my take is that when we are imaginative about our life, we will find solutions beyond the obvious.
But I'll just say that, we'll say, oh, ये तो creative बंदा है. उसको ज़्यादा कुछ पता है, you'll figure out different avenues. And you talked about order and you don't like it. But organizations and people here are paid to provide order, paid to provide structure. And what you're saying is challenge yourself, रोज नई सोच, so create disruption. So let me just step off a little bit and understand you.
Yep.
The guy who loved mathematics, the guy who wanted to study sciences, did history, and then landed in acting, and then has now become a food blogger, got into also intertwined somewhere along this HR and learning community. He's great friends with most of the HR people, and also the motivations. How has this journey come about?
So I discovered, I wanted to do science, but I was miserable in mathematics. So I had to deal with that. Life was not kind to me. I wanted to join the IIT, but they said you have to learn mathematics. I got 4 out of 100 in mathematics. And the trouble is I still don't know how I got those 4. Because I knew nothing. So I'm saying that, the helplessness, Raj, of wanting to do something, but that thing is away. So today at this stage of my life, and again, see, there's a method to my madness. It's a line from Caligula, but even if I say that I do not like order, even though I look very maverick and mad, I pay my taxes. I'm pretty much in order there. I make sure that my EMIs are paid. I'm pretty much in order there. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to diminish myself saying that I'm in order. I find that there is a lot of creativity possible in day-to-day things, because each one of us, you may be a banker, but do you know that bankers are dealing with human beings who are not stereotyped? And we are talking about business and how many different ways we can reach out and create business for them and for me. So therefore, for me, it's a misnomer saying that order is to do with this. For me, while in order is so that a group of people can function together. That is order. But it is those group of people who have got extraordinary ideas, but who have got a community in which that wisdom may be shared. And for me, the learning and development community is that wisdom pool. So when we meet at places like this, we are actually infusing each other's with whatever that we know, and in that pool, anybody can dip in and take some stuff. And that is what excites me about life itself.
Wonderful. So your learning style, so is it, how much of it is conscious and how much of it is accidental? Because the motivational speaker one, and I was chatting up with him at breakfast, and he said it happened by chance because he met someone in the flight.
Emmy
David.
Emmanuel David, yes.
Yeah, Emmy he met at the airport or flight. That's when it happened. Your food blogging. You said you wanted to just travel, you like traveling. It happened by accident. Yeah. So you're learning new skills, but seems like it's happening by accident. So there's no conscious thought.
So, again, I'm just going to add something with what you shared, and therefore I'm going to just move this. So when I was talking to you, and this morning you said something very interesting. So her parenting, the how she was parented and how I was parented was very different. Okay? Her mother was really somebody who asked for things from her. Go for it. And I had a very different mother. Now we very clearly seen that both were kind people.
Yes.
Okay? And that isn't it a fact that there are different ways to get it. And the idea in life is to be open to discover your own way of getting it. So the idea here is not anyone behaving like anyone else. It's but really getting that the individual spark that each one of us has. It has that ability to be crackling, except that we just have to be able to state it. We feel very embarrassed to say that I want to learn something new. And I'm like open to it, yeah. I'm completely open. I'm open, yeah. तो मजाक कर ले मेरा. You can't insult the insulted. Yeah, I don't know it, yeah. अभी बताओ क्या करना है? Will you teach me or not? And here is one question that I want to ask you. You're not very good in academics, and you've reached where you have reached. So you're not supposed to be here.
Seriously. So I studied. He was talking about Jamnapar, and I said, and he was asking, where did you do college? Delhi se ho? So where did you do college? So he didn't ask the new friends colony and all, but he wanted to gauge how
अच्छे कॉलेज में पढ़ी है कि नहीं?
अच्छे कॉलेज में पढ़ी, because he's from Hindu. So I said, no, I'm not from. I've had like diverse experiences and all of that, but I studied in a tin shed college.
And where?
Dalhousie.
Imagine.
And actually, not Dalhousie. Dalhousie to makes it sound really exciting. It's Banikhet, the foothill of Dalhousie. So that was the first time the college was set up. First year, I studied with first generation learners, farmers, people, because people, if they had barely some money, they would go to Chandigarh or Shimla to study, right? I was studying there. So then he was very kind. He said, "Kya pada?" I said, "Non-medical." Because in Himachal and in Punjab, you have arts, medical, non-medical. So I had studied non-medical. And here I was, and I said, I come from a family of professionals. My mom was hardcore, that's the thing. She was said, if you're not going to study, basically you're on your own. So figure out, find a job. She was that kind of a person. And that perhaps triggered me. For me, but it was fear. The death, the analogy of death that you built out is very fascinating, because fear also propels you to learn. And that's when I went and applied to Excel, etc. But for me, I think it's also the hunger, ever since I started working, to do more, because otherwise my mom's voice is there in my head. If you don't amount to anything, fend for yourself. So that was the trigger. And I'm sure that was a trigger perhaps for you as well.
Sure, fear. And for me, I had to take care of my old parents. I could not go back to it. So fear is a wonderful thing. There is nothing wrong with fear. Fear allows you to really move where your logic stops you. And see, again, I'm coming back to learning. Learning is my ability to know that I will have to take a leap to check if I'm going to fly or not. It's not going to keep me sitting on this edge and thinking, udhar kya hoga? And especially nowadays with experiential life happening. And that's why I love social media. And so one of the things that I would love you all to do, how many of you here are on Instagram? Just want to check. Okay, good percentage. Would you believe it that, we have a company called Ashish, Vidyarthi and Associates. I'm also plugging myself. Okay, so sorry for this. So at Ashish, Vidyarthi and Associates, 99.9% of our programs are coming from people who are reaching out to us. And most of them, a whole lot of them, know about us from Instagram, apart from LinkedIn. Now, the power that businesses can be propelled by social media, it is available everywhere. So you may not think that the powerful people are using Instagram, but their kids are. Family members are. And they give references. So I am highly recommending, please use social media as a way to share what is truly you. It is available. It's your own radio station. And therefore, Twitter may appear, it kind of constricts. But for me, having a YouTube channel or having something where I can do a live on Facebook, you can actually be sharing about your passion, and who knows who needs you, who needs your expertise.
So let me just round it up, because I'm seeing the red bar coming up, time's up, time's up, time's up. I'm sure people will catch up with you. One question, you said learning is experiential. I see board members of NIIT also sitting here. In the days of Chat GPT,
yes,
right? The biggest disruption that's going to happen is to the learning industry, how people learn, our kids, what they memorize, what they don't, whether they need to memorize, and they need to be perhaps asking the right questions, be more creative. it's an interesting, uncertain world.
Yes.
And I think the learning industry's onus is to teach people how to learn and get them ready for the next job and the next job and the next job. Any advice from a 57-year-old wise man who's seen many technologies, has embraced them? What do you what do you want to tell the board members? What should they be asking an IT of?
So taking the classes out of the classroom is something, where people are. So it's a bit like theater. Theater, we have some classes, and then most of theater is taught while doing plays themselves, and those learnings remain for life. So what you saw today is not just a speaker; you saw an actor. The learnings that I've had through theater, holding you all together, making sure that I was connected, moving everything. So I personally, it's a bit like the engineer. Engineer is a hands-on person, and that's why the engineer remains valid. And I really think that if education can step out of the classroom and allow people to get with interactions like this on topics and then interactions, it will really allow people to get hands-on as lived experiences, because nothing is better than lived experiences. And when people are ready to live rather than getting it right, that's when life actually begins.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you for inspiring us, and thank you for provoking the fact that the biggest resource of learning is in you.
Me.
Is you yourself and me, and the catalyst is out there, and obviously the learning and development professionals are doing, in a sense, God's work.
Human service, absolutely.
Yeah, lots of service, but I think fascinating conversation. I'm sure people would love to hear more from you. He's available as a resource. He is in service of this team throughout the evening. So look forward to catching up with you.
बहुत बहुत
Thank you.
शुक्रिया आपका. Thank you.
Thank you so much.